What the fuck is this? I don't know, man. It's almost like I knew what I was talking about when I talked about it. But something I have no idea about is this Super Nintendo World Direct about Donkey Kong Country or something like that. I really don't know. Let's see if they can do something that will make me care or that'll appeal to me.
今回はここユニバーサル・スタジオ・ジャパンのスーパー・ニンテンドー・ワールドからお届けします。
Okay.
2021年3月にオープンして以来、世界中からたくさんの方々に来ていただいて、スーパーマリオの世界を全身で体験いただいています。
Yeah, I don't care. Where's the exhibit? That's what I want to see.
ジャングルポッ
A minute of yapping.
聞こえてきました。ここが新エリア。ドンキーコングカン
Okay, that looks fire. Ooh.
たちが住む
Oh, that's the joint that you jump out at the beginning of the game. That's where you're saving all that is at.
ドンキーコングの家。そしてその奥にそびえるのは黄金の神殿です。
Okay. That's from DKC2 with Dickie Kong.
神殿だったんですね。黄金が眩しく輝い
This looks like, yeah, okay, you don't have to describe it in vivid detail, my boy.
てにもいくつかの秘密の場所があります。あちらの方からコンガの音が聞こえてきましたよ。行ってみましょう。
And oh,
はい、ここではドンキーコングのリズムを使ったアクティビティをプレイできます。今聞こえているこのリズムに合わせてコンガを叩いてください。3人で一緒にプレイする。今日はドンキーコングカントリーのクルーの
okay.
協力をしてもらってます。
DK bongos in real life.
3人でクリア。
Can't wait till this shit shuts down in 30 years and they give them bitches out for free.
このライト
Just for somebody to charge 30,000 on eBay. That's not how bongo's supposed to sound. What the fuck is that? Fucking light tap ass bongos.
ランディが出てきました。
You can tell that nigga loves his job, boy, cause what the fuck?
さあ、
Yeah, we're cutting this shit off. I don't care. Thought it was gonna be something cool in here. It looks cool to look at, but it will look cool in person. Nah, I don't care. Going from talking about what could have potentially been a Nintendo W, while I stand up, let's read about this Nintendo L. A Nintendo lawsuit, they now claim they can sue people just for playing Switch games in an emulator. It doesn't matter where you got them. Now, I want to read through this a little bit and see what the fuck, where the fuck it says that. Linking to Switch emulators is also illegal according to Nintendo, and they can't sue you for that. No, they can't. According to Nintendo, you sending someone a link to an emulator is trafficking. No, it's not. I don't know about other countries. This might be some shit that only applies in Japan, but in America, no, it's not. Trafficking would mean I'm doing something illegal. Trafficking would be sending you the game, the ROM for the game. Now that's illegal. Sending you a link to a fucking emulator is not illegal, my nigga. That's just like I said. Nintendo, the game company that hates re-releasing their games the most, is the most dick ridery about emulators. That shit is crazy. Plaintiff repeats to re-alleges with every allegation, blah, blah, blah. In a general sense, prohibits circumvention of technological measure that effectively controls access to a work protected by the Copyright Act. So basically what Nintendo is trying to say with this, at this point, we know that it is very easy to get around our copy protections, but they're there so that you have to get around them. Because for those of y'all who don't know, I think it was, what was it? The Saturn or the Genesis? Let me look it up. First. No, wait. Okay, wait, it was the last Sega console. No, not that one. Not the Master System, not the Mega Drive, not the Game Gear. I didn't know Game Gear was Sega. Not the Pico, not the 32X, not the Saturn, not the Dreamcast. It was whatever the fuck was after the Dreamcast. Game Gear Micro. Oh shit, yeah, it is a Dreamcast. So yeah, okay. So for those of y'all who don't know, part of the reason why Sega went absolutely fucking broke is because at the time when they introduced the idea of using CDs, like the technology was so new. On a corporate level, I don't really think they understand how to put copy protections on it. So what a lot of people would do is they would take the Sega like Genesis, or I mean the Sega Dreamcast disc, they will go on their computer and do something called burn the files, which is just an old way to say drag and drop the files from one CD to another CD. And basically you could infinitely reproduce the game for free and pirate the game. So as long as you had a regular normal ass CD that you could buy at the store for 99 cents, you could give out infinite copies of this game. So for example, what people would do, and this is just a secondhand story, is I knew somebody who back then, because they had a computer with a CD burner and most people didn't, what they would do is they would tell people, yo, what games you want? They'll be like, yo, like they'll ask around their neighborhood, like, yo, what games y'all want? They'll be like, oh, we want Mortal Kombat, 4 Armageddon, excuse me. Wait, what's 4 Armageddon? It doesn't fucking matter. They'll be like, oh, we want Mortal Kombat Armageddon. We want Sonic Adventure 2. He'll be like, all right, he'll buy the disc. Let's say the game costs $50 at the time. He'll be like, yo, $20 a pop, boom. Because if you think about it, if he sells this game to 4 people, he already made back the cost of that game. And not only do you have the game to copy and basically give people and run a business for free, on top of that, now you also have the game for essentially free because you sold the game without giving it away to more than one person, and they all get a playable copy of the game. That's piracy. And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just telling you a story to lead into another point that I'm about to say. That's pirating, number one. Number two, the reason why they're adding that copy protection is so that there's an extra step in place that you have to go through, so it isn't as simple as just Control-C, Control-V. So that means they can say, oh, if anybody is playing your copy of the game besides you, that means that you circumvented our piracy measures, meaning you went out your way to make sure you could play this on a different kind of software, which we don't allow in any way, shape, or form. Now we can sue you. That's basically why this one is there. This is basically them saying, because one thing I've heard, like multiple different game developers and stuff like that say, is the reason why they try and engage now, like back in the days, they tried to engage in anti-piracy to keep the pirates from stealing their games, basically, right? Nowadays, they more so like try and prevent a bunch of mass piracy from the get-go, from the rip, when the game first releases, so that they can make money off of the game in its most important period when it first releases. That's where everybody's hyped for the game. People are buying it at a hype. A lot of people are willing to pay full price for it. People who are on the edge about the game, like they might buy it just to try it. Like that's when a lot of video game companies get the most money from their games, except for like these companies that got these evergreen head ass games like a Fortnite or a Team Fortress that got microtransactions. League of Legends got 100 billion trillion. The World of Warcraft 100 billion trillion microtransactions and expansions update, and the goddamn game been alive since 2007 or something like that. Like games like that, no. But like majority of games, like for example Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, The Last of Us, games in that vein make most of their money during that initial like 1 to 2 month period when it has just came out, when people like are, like I said, they're hype and this game just came out and they're waiting until it releases to get it. That's when they make the most of their money. So stuff like the Nouveau and all of that is to prevent them from the first month. But back in the day, they didn't really understand how pirates was bumming. So the way they was doing it was they was putting anti-piracy measures in their games to make it so that if you did copy it without the encryption and stuff like that, or without breaking the encryption, you will fuck up the game. But what do I say? If you are dedicated to making a system that works, there is a person dedicated to breaking that system. People would get around these copy protections and extract and decrypt the ROMs so that they could play them normally on copy disk and stuff like that. That's where you get stories like Spyro, for example, where the game is mechanically unbeatable if you try to play a pirated version of it, or even the story of Video Game Tycoon, where when you play that game, Video Game Tycoon, just for those of y'all who never heard of the game, is a game where you're a video game developer, and if you play, what they did is ahead of release, they leaked what you call it, shit, pirated, that's what I'll say. They basically leaked a pirated version of their game that a lot of people who ran those pirate game like networks, whatever the fuck it is, however they shared on pirate games, they ran those networks and stuff like that. And what they would do is they would leak it to them, so they would put it up on their website so that when you play the game, when you get to the point to where you start selling your game, your company just infinitely starts losing money. And they basically got a message in the game that goes, see what happens when people pirate your game? You lose money, now you go broke. Yeah, now take your ass to whatever your favorite PC, PlayStation, whatever game selling platform is, itch.io, Steam, Epic, whatever. I don't know if Epic was around at the time, but whatever one of those, and go ahead and actually buy our game. We're an indie developer. We need that money. We're not a greedy company like Nintendo. We just trying to make money off of a passion project, gang. We just trying to feed people by giving you a fun experience. You can't throw us $20, my nigga. $20 for a game that's newly available. Your broke ass, bum ass, bitch ass, hoe ass, funky ass, old poverty stricken ass nigga. Can't spend $20 on a game, wearing Jordans, riding a bus. You got on 6 down chains and a bust down rolling avalanche, but you never had a chance at fiscal stability because you spending your money on a bust down rolling avalanche on a bus with a fucking switch in your waistband like a damn dingus. Why don't you spend that money on a fucking $5,000 old used Toyota 2010 Camry, bitch ass nigga? Now at least when you do save up to buy your J's, after you realize damn car insurance is real as fuck, you at least could drive around and listen to your own music, bumping as loud as you can with your damn J's on. You gonna be driving in a hoopty, but it's gonna be your hoopty. Anyway, let's keep going. Nintendo's technological measures effectively control access to works protected by copyright. The defendant, at a minimum, loaded unauthorized copies of games in a Rejinx, Yuzu, or another emulator and streamed them. This is for the specific dude, is what I'm assuming. This is specifically for the dude I was talking about the other day. Okay, so for those of you who didn't watch that video, you could go watch it. If I remember, I'll put it like in the iCards or whatever. But the short version is, there was a dude who was not only playing games for Nintendo games early and illegally, using stuff like Ryujinx and Yuzu, he was taunting Nintendo about it. Like, he was releasing tweets saying, Nintendo, y'all never gonna catch me. I'ma forever play these pirate games and share it with as many people as possible. He would stream his gameplay on like YouTube and Twitch and put it out there. So whenever you was hearing links about people playing games and getting access to games like Nintendo, like Breath of the Wild, a month early before the game even came out, or people playing Smash 2 weeks before the game dropped, stuff like that, it was people like him. So they're saying that he did this shit. Not only did he commit the crimes, and said, fuck you, Nintendo, y'all never gonna catch me. They caught his ass. And y'all know how Nintendo is. They catch you doing some dumb shit, they gonna smack you on your cheeks, rotate you and say, oh, that's just the beginning, motherfucker. And then it's gonna get to the point to where they got you upside down, hanging by your feet, beating you with a fucking Mario Strikers Wii Sports baseball bat till you bleed all over yourself and piss, and say, oh, we're not even 1/129th of the way in, bitch ass nigga. Each act of circumvention constitutes a violation of copyright. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's violations, plaintiff is entitled to the maximum statutory damages damages to blank the amount of 2,000 of at least 2.5 thousand with respect to each act of circumvention. So that's $2,000 for every time you pull some bullshit. Damn, they on his ass. Let's keep reading. Through YouTube, Discord, and other channels of distribution, defendant offers to the public, provides, and otherwise traffics Ryujinx, Yuzu, and other emulators in violation of blah 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 blah. Each offering to the public provision or other act of trafficking Nintendo Switch emulator software repositories and other circumvention devices constitute a violation of that for which a plaintiff is entitled damages under that. So basically what YouTube is saying is, here go YouTube being petty bitch ass niggas again. So my advice is, if you're one of those YouTubers that have ever uploaded a guide to how to use Nintendo emulators, if I were you, for the sake of my pockets and for the sake of not going crazy, I'll take all them shits down right now. Because back in the day, way back in the day, let me see if I could get in my YouTube studio. But way back in the day, like 2 years ago, I showed people, because a lot of people in my Discord kept asking me how you play Smash 4 for 3DS and Simu, and I showed people, and I got a strike for it. Now I'm not going to show you the video. I'm just going to go to my page and show you the strike for it. If it's still up there, I don't know if it is. If it isn't, oh well. YouTube Studio. Nope, it's not up there. Let me see. Is there a violations joint? Community dashboard, no. Profile, no. Audio library, customization, earn, subtitle, copyright, analytics. No. And it's damn sure not up here, right? So yeah, it's not up there. So this is basically a trust me bro head ass story. But yeah, that happened to me a long time ago. So anybody, any of the people who didn't get clapped by the Nintendo ninjas, I suggest you do. Because if they win this lawsuit, that means that they're setting a precedent. Because when it comes to law, I don't know how Japan law works in specifics, but I know in general, like anywhere, law is about precedent. So basically, if it happened once and this is the punishment, every time that exact same thing happens, we give the exact same punishment. So let's say you go punch somebody in the face, right? And the punishment for that is you got to spend a year in jail. That means the next time somebody punches somebody else in the face, they got to spend a year in jail. The person after them, they got to spend a year in jail, so on and so forth. That's precedent when you establish a pattern. If they make him pay, this means they can establish a pattern to where they could go to every YouTube channel, they could go manually flag it and say, you now owe us blah, 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 blah amount of money. Because last time we caught somebody doing this, putting this content on YouTube, Twitch, all that, we was able to strike them down. Now, not only are they able to strike you down, they're also able to strike you down and sue you. Like I'm saying, man, I am so incredibly glad I didn't grow up loving Nintendo specifically as a company. Because Jesus Christ, they make games that people consider great, but they fucking hate their fans. Like, to the point to where it's like, damn, why do niggas even give you money if y'all hate y'all fans this fucking much? But going from some Nintendo news to some PlayStation 5th edition news. This man, Mr. Pio, claims that he used his PlayStation 5th edition Pro for over 20 hours now. He's tested over 15 games, and this is his impressions. The console is way smaller than he thought it would be. It's very quiet. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the biggest difference from base PS5. Even games with no Pro patch are more solid. On a fucking console released 4 years after the original, that's a damn power upgrade Pro revision. I would hope the fuck so. And it's not me getting mad at him, just to clarify. This is just me saying games with no Pro patch have a difference. Some bigger, some smaller. I would hope the fuck so. No disk drive or stance is the biggest negative. meaning that you're gonna have to have your console wiggling all over like this if you do want to get a disk drive. Easy recommend for 700 USD if you like PlayStation. However, if you're gonna play 900 to 1200 USD for the rest of the world, then I recommend only if PS is your main platform and you play at least 15 hours a week. Basically, he's saying if you're not a PlayStation junkie, willing to wait, or they dropped a new album. Okay, let's go ahead and open that in a new tab. Ooh, open link in new tab. We're gonna check that out later. I still gotta go through Chroma, that fucking Tyler the Creator album, and I was about to do the dance, but wrong album. Eternal Take. Anyway, going back to this, basically he's saying if you're a PlayStation 5 file and all you play is your PlayStation 10 to 13 hours a week and you play like 20 different games, like you're actually like a gaming enthusiast and not a nigga that just plays 2K and Madden all day, don't buy this shit. A lot of games have PS5 Pro patches already and a lot more panned. I would hope so. The hardware is not the selling point I am on. It's a PSSR. What the fuck is that? I can't wait for games like Ghost, Dark Souls 2? I could be wrong on that, but you get it. The most anticipated games. Overall, if you love PlayStation and can easily afford it, then buy it. But if you are a PlayStation casually, then don't get it now and wait how what the fuck is SR? PlayStation Pro Professional? Oh, PlayStation Professional, because there's an R in Pro. Got it. But yeah, if you're wondering whether you should get the PS5 Pro or not, just so y'all don't try and pull that, I'm not gonna take advice from somebody who bought the PS5. Take the advice from somebody who is a PS5. I don't want to say fanboy as in like a bad way, as in he's like one of those Sony ponies that delusionally dick ride Sony or anything, but as coming from somebody who's a PlayStation fan, saying he brought it, used it for a while, these are his recommendations. He basically said if you don't have a PS5, he basically said if you don't have a PS5, don't buy. He literally said, well, not literally as in word for word, but evidence is right there in front of your fucking face. Hey, look, you PS poor niggas, y'all need to buy y'all fucking PS5 Pro, but maybe you can go to a reseller and get the PS5 Pro for cheap. Because why? Because PS5 Pro resellers are already losing big money after launch. Why is that? Well, it's because a mid-generation upgrade of the PS5, somewhat humorously, the disc drive, a standalone attachment holding the recommended blah 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 blah. As for the PS Pro, however, it would seem that this particular gamble taken by third-party resellers hasn't paid off like with the 2020 PlayStation 5 release. As spotted by VGC, multiple listings on eBay seek less than the suggested price of $700. So look, if you buy this shit off of eBay, you're paying $660 plus shipping and handling. $665, $665. I know it's a lot of people out there that hate scalpers that are just rolling in this shit, man. Whether this availability is due to Sony producing more consoles to avoid extreme shortages with the release, it's because there was a chip shortage. Alright, so let me explain to you why this purchase was stupid as fuck. In 2020, when the PS5 came out, there was a global thing going on. The Corbin Blue 19 Panasonic Demic, right? When that happened, not as many people as there usually are in those slave labor chip making factories couldn't go to work, because Corbin Blue said no, you can't go to work or else you're gonna achoo. So a lot of those not semiconductor. Well, semiconductor too, but chip makers. That's what I was trying to think of. A lot of those chip makers couldn't keep up with their usual output of how many chips they output. So, for example, if usually they was outputting 100 chips, microchips an hour, they were now only outputting 10 to 15, if any at all. So they were basically just selling off the stock they have. And when it came to like more stock for when they ran out of the stock that they're currently booking to be sold and shipped, people was shit out of luck because the production effort was slowed down significantly, if not grinded to a 100% stop halt. But that's not the case because corporations always get what they want. So the workload was just slowed down, meaning it was harder to make PS5s because there was no CPUs. So the supply, I don't want to say it was artificially limited, but supply was 10 times higher than the demand. On top of the fact that not only is it a new console and a new console generation, it was a new console and a new console generation during a time where everybody had to stay in their crib and do a whole bunch of nothing all day and live just in their crib by themselves, couldn't leave the crib. So not only was it demand from it being a new game console, it was a demand from everybody being bored and wanting something to do. Whether they used it as a Fortnite machine or a Netflix machine, they wanted it. They wanted it bad. Nobody could fucking buy the thing. So what will happen is PS5 drops will happen. 1,000 people would get PS5s. Then guess what? The fucking queue closes down and they'll be like, hey, we ain't got no more PS5s for today. Now everybody gotta go scavenge and hope they get one at another sale or someplace like that. We are not in those times anymore. We are in a time where people can go outside and go to work mostly normally now. Not 100%, because you know, Corbin Blue changed a lot. But now people can mostly go to where they need to go and do what they need to do regularly. They can go to work regularly. So there is no chip shortage. There is no shortage of you gotta download a fucking app on your phone, look at if the store got them in stock, and then try and wait outside 5 and 6 hours early to try and get a place that, no, that's not what was happening at all. It's just not. People can easily find it. Then God forbid you wanted to get a bundle with a game or two because you didn't want to buy the games digitally, or you wanted to get the games cheaper and have them when you buy the console so you could get everything at the same time. So like all you gotta do is all you gotta do is set up your console and get to playing the game basically. Yeah, they was charging you even more. And the scalpers was charging you even more than that. And then on top of that, PlayStation put systems in place to make it harder to get with bots. So some of these scalpers had to actually sit there and do the clicking stuff themselves or hire a couple people to help them do it. Not the same, gang. PS5 been out for 4 years. People who wanted it already got it. There wasn't a rush for this like there was a rush for the other one. We are not in Corbin Blue time, so people who aren't really gamers aren't getting this shit and using it for real unless they getting it for somebody. This was a dumbass plan. It was also something else I had to say. I can't think of it. Shooting shortages, release, lack of interest, and simply, however. That's another thing. A lot of people just don't give a fuck. Like, a lot of people want a PS5, already got one. So who the fuck is buying this? Nobody. I'm gonna be honest. Even if I was desperate for a PS5 Pro, why would I pay you $660 when in the store it's $700? I might as well scrounge up the couple extra dollars and either A, get it out the store, while I at least know the shit's gonna be working. It's a higher chance for me to trust it. If it's fucked up, I got someone I can return it to, get my money back, get my money back from and all that. Versus if I buy it from random nigga number 9 on eBay or whatever, then it's just claps if the shit don't work. So really, y'all need to sell this shit at $500 and take this as a learning lesson. This shit was not gonna work, buddy. This shit is not shoes. People who play games, we are not fans of shoes in terms of like How they release the same fucking shoe over and over for the next 20 to 30 years. Produce it for like a year and just go, oh, yep, we're never selling this again.